I don't know if I'm a victim, a villain, or both, and that's why I've never told this story publicly. When I married my husband, I thought I was marrying the love of my life. Instead, I married a man who made my life a living hell. The first time he beat me, he apologized and promised it would never happen again. The second time, he blamed stress. By the third time, he stopped apologizing altogether. For years, I lived in fear of him. I learned how to tell what mood he was in by the way he opened the front door. I learned when to stay quiet, when to disappear, and when to pretend. The worst part wasn't even the beatings, it was the babies. I got pregnant 4 times and I lost all 4. The doctors never officially blamed him, but I knew. After every violent episode, there would be blood, then another funeral for a child that never got the chance to live. By the 4th pregnancy, something inside me broke. Not my body, my soul. I stopped praying for him to change. I stopped hoping. I stopped believing. Then one day, an elderly woman I met told me something, not advice, not instructions, just a conversation about consequence. And after that, I started putting a certain herbal mixture into his meals. Not enough to make him suddenly sick, just enough that over time he became weaker. Days after days, months after months. The strong man who once terrified everyone slowly became dependent on everyone. His muscles weakened, his energy disappeared. His confidence faded. Doctor after doctor couldn't explain it properly. One specialist said there were unusual impurities affecting his system. Another said his body seemed unable to recover normally. Nobody had answers. Meanwhile, I became the perfect wife, the devoted caretaker.
The woman who never left his side. I took him to appointments, fed him, and bathed him when he couldn't do it himself. People praised me. They called me loyal. If only they knew. As he got weaker, he started seeing life differently. A man who thinks he's dying suddenly remembers the people he's hurt. One day, he called me into the room. Then another day, then another, little by little. He started transferring things into my name. Land, properties, savings, investments. He said he wanted me to be secure if anything happened to him. I remember signing documents while wondering if he would have done any of this if he'd remained healthy. A few years later, he died. The entire community cried for him. I cried too, and to this day, I don't know whether those tears were grief, relief, or guilt. Then came another surprise. His family said his younger brother should marry me. I refused immediately. The idea disgusted me. But his brother wasn't like him, not even close. While my husband was cruel, this man was gentle.
While my husband used fear, this man used kindness. The first time I burned dinner, I apologized automatically. I was shaking, waiting for anger, waiting for insults, waiting for a slap. Instead, he laughed and ordered food. I went to the bathroom and cried for an hour, not because I was sad, but because I realized I had forgotten what normal looked like. He became the husband I used to pray for, the husband I thought only existed in movies. He checked on me, protected me, respected me, and loved me. Sometimes, the smallest thing he did for me felt bigger than everything my first husband did during our entire marriage. And that's where my problem begins. Because every now and then, usually late at night, I think about the past. I think about the herbal mixture. I think about the hospital visits. I think about the slow decline. And I ask myself a question I can never answer. Did I survive? Or did I become something terrible to survive? Some days,
guilt eats me alive. Other days, I remember the babies I buried, the bruises I hid, the fear I lived with, and I feel nothing at all. Today, I live comfortably. The properties are mine. The money is mine. My new husband treats me like I matter. From the outside, it looks like I got a happy ending. Maybe I did. But there's one thing nobody knows. Every year, on the anniversary of my first husband's death, I sit alone for a few hours and I wonder whether justice and revenge are really the same thing.